Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. It's James Lewis of This Dreamhouse, the show that is all about the house. Today, we're going to be discussing some of the fun things you can play on your home console. For example, Mutant Football League. Our guest today is Michael Mendheim, and he is the co-founder of Digital DreamScent. We will be discussing that Mutant Football League. Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be here to talk about Mutant Football League. I think this is going to be fun.
Oh, definitely. I'm excited. I love playing the game. I recommend it to everyone I can. Anyone who's interested in football or other exciting games, it's definitely worth checking out. But for those who don't know what Mutant Football League is, tell them a little about it.
Yeah, my pleasure. So Mutant Football League is a brutal arcade-style football game set in the post-apocalypse. And it's here where mutant and monster gladiators take to the field to battle it out in the most violent game ever played. So think about it as like an NFL Blitz meets Army of Darkness, right? And the game offers intense online multiplayer action along with deep strategy and humor. And the humor comes in when we parody culture, politics, professional sports, specifically like the NFL. In our game, instead of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we have the Terror Bay Mutineers. And, of course, Bob Shady is their legendary all-star quarterback. So that kind of gives you the vibe of what our game is.
Exactly. It's got a lot of parody to it.
Absolutely.
So how did it get started?
Well, I created the original Mutant League football for Electronic Arts back in the early 90s, and that was on the Sega Genesis system. And the original Mutant League football is considered a classic, and it is usually included in the top 10 list for the best football games ever made. And Mutant League football inspired a nationally syndicated cartoon show, comics, a toy line, and a game sequel, which was Mutant League Hockey. So Mutant Football League is created by the same guy who created that game, and it's that game's spiritual successor. And, it's better in almost every way. That game, is an older game. So we wanted to update it and give today's generation of gamers a chance to play.
Definitely, I agree with you, except for better in every way. I mean, Mutant League Football was probably the best game of all time.
Yeah,
so it's hard for it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mutant Football League is also just phenomenal. Both are just so much fun. They're so intense. I guess I do agree with you because the new one does have the Dynasty mode, which the old one just had the playoffs.
Yeah, and of course, the graphics are... The old one was 16-bit Genesis, so it was kind of top-down and, sprite-based. And, our game is all full 3D and lighting and all of that.
That is true. I do have to take off my nostalgia glasses and admit you are correct. Because, I was going to say, just was so biased towards that game. I mean, growing up, I always would tell people they need to make this one on the next console, on the PlayStation 1 or the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 3. And now we finally got one on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy getting it out there, but we have a small team, Digital Dreams Entertainment. That's our company. We have about 15 guys, so it is, it's just a tough, log trying to build a video game against all like the giants in the industry. But we did it, and we're really proud of the product.
Oh, you should be. I mean, it is just so exciting, and just more people need to know about it. That's why we're having you on the show today. Now, what consoles is it available on?
So we're on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and the PC. And the game, sells for $19.99, so it's like a great value. And like everybody listening should run out and buy it today.
Oh, definitely. Well, everybody over the age of like 16 or 18.
That's true, but in our game, we actually do have options that you can turn off the gore and the language because it's an M-rated game for those of you listening. And we had a lot of, dads request that we provide them these options because they wanted to play with their kids. So we have all kinds of options to turn the game into a very light T-rated game.
Nice. Yeah, because I end up, because my son, I don't want him to walk in and hear some of the things the commentators say, so I usually play it with the commentators turned off. But the gore, oh, definitely, I still have that going on there.
Yeah, you can turn off mature language and they won't swear at all.
Oh, you can? Oh, I need to look at that because I would love to be able to hear what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we just edit everything out and they don't say anything, that's offensive.
Nice. I learned something new today. That's always a good thing. So you mentioned earlier how the game is different from old school football, but tell us a little bit more about that. How playing Mutant League football is just so much more fun because it's different.
Right. Okay. Well, first let me say, if you play Madden or NFL Blitz, you'll be able to play Mutant Football League in your sleep. A lot of similarities. Our game has really super sound football mechanics, and in its own right, it's a very solid and deep football game. But here's where we're different. Players die in our game, and they die all the time. So, for example, when you play, you can win by highest score, right? Normal football rules. Or you can play by killing and decimating your opponents. So, for example, James, you and I are playing a game, and you're winning 44-10, right? And we're in the fourth quarter. How am I possibly going to win? Well, if I manage to kill all your quarterbacks, it's going to be a forfeit, and I win because you don't have a quarterback to bring out on the field. So we have a lot of players that don't typically play sports games, but they play Mutant Football League in that way. So they don't really care about the score. They're just whittling down your team so you don't have any receivers or you have to play shorthanded, and you hit a certain threshold where the game's just going to be forfeit. So, you're trying to kill my players, I'm trying to kill your players while we play a game of football. It's good, wholesome fun for the entire family.
Exactly. I was going to say that sounds like a bunch of my buddies' strategies when we used to play the original because, they weren't good at the game, but they were good at killing my players. And I'm in there subbing out players and having different strategies and trying to figure out, who to throw the ball to and that kind of thing. And they're just trying to kill everybody. Yeah,
and there's two other things that really separate us from other games, right? So we have fantastical stadiums. Every team has a unique stadium and it's filled with ruthless fans and deadly traps. So every field is littered with different hazards, like exploding landmines or a buzzsaw that moves across the field. And these hazards become a part of the core gameplay, and they need to be avoided, right? So, there's nothing more frustrating than throwing a down and out to one of your receivers, but, there's a landmine right by his out route, and he blows up before the ball gets there. So you've got that to deal with. And then my favorite part of the game is every team has special plays, and those are called dirty tricks. And dirty tricks are these game-breaking plays designed to kill or hose the opposition. And they're kind of like timeouts. You get 2 on offense, 2 on defense, and you get to use them each half. So dirty tricks include the ability, to bribe a ref. So, for example, if I bribe a ref and you score a touchdown and you don't know the ref is bribed, they'll call back the touchdown on some kind of nonsensical penalty. For example, Rush, you guys think Rush is better than Led Zeppelin, 15-yard penalty. So then that touchdown gets negated. And then that team has to go kill the ref because when you kill the ref, you kill the bribe. So we've got that. And then other dirty tricks allow you to equip weapons on your players, like a shotgun or a chainsaw. So, for example, if I call a chainsaw dirty trick, which is a running play, my quarterback will pitch to my running back, so my RB will have the football in one hand and a chainsaw in the other, right? So as guys try to tackle him, he can chainsaw them. And my favorite dirty trick is called murder ball. So this is a passing play, and when you call a murder ball dirty trick, your quarterback will throw a straight line bullet pass down the field. So as the ball is spiraling, blades will extract from it, and it'll slice and dice any defender between the pass of the ball and the receiver. So, those are dirty tricks. Finally, like our game, to offset the violence, like we have a lot of humor, and we've got Tim Kitzrow announcing the game. So for those who don't know who Tim Kitzrow is, he also voiced NBA Jam, the Boom Shakalaka guy. And
nice.
He also voiced NFL Blitz. So he's hilarious and a perfect fit for MFL.
Yeah, it sounds like a wonderful fit. Letting our listeners know who we have today, Michael Mendheim, and he is the co-founder of Digital Dream Set. We're just excited to talk Mutant League football. So with that, do you offer downloaded content? I think you touched on it earlier because you mentioned about Tom Shady.
Yeah. So, we're always adding new content into the game, and we also update our rosters every season, and we don't charge $60 for that like some of the other guys. We do that for free. So every season, we update the rosters. The last 3 DLC teams we added were the Nashville Lycans. So these are AKA the Titans, and it's an all werewolf team. We've also got the Snuffle and Thrills. They play in this Blizzard Stadium, and we've got a lot of Mafia themes going on with the Thrills. And we also released the Terror Bay Mutineers. And what's cool about them is they have a pirate ship in their home stadium that fires cannonballs at the opposing team's ball carrier. So when, the opposing team has the ball, they're always getting cannonball shot at them. It's not a really nice place to play.
Nice. Sounds great. Now, obviously, we have the PlayStation 4, we have the Xbox One, we have those type of things. What about the next generation systems?
Yeah, so, big news is we're hard at work on the next-gen systems right now. So we're going to be releasing a brand new game, MFL 2 Sudden Death. That's just a working title for now, but it'll be on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And the core focus for our team and the development of that is to really elevate the graphics and push all of the online components of the game totally to the max. It's going to be really cool, and we're super excited about it. And whenever we're developing Mutant Football League, our community always has a big say in the project and what types of features and characters they want to see, because MFL is a community-driven project. Our fans support us, and we support them, and we listen to what they want. It's a little too early to announce a date, but stay tuned.
That is phenomenal. Yeah, I was going to say that's great to hear. Once again, I don't want to sound like a skeptic, but I still have my doubts that it could be any better because, like you said, this has got the gameplay of Madden, but it's got the excitement of Evil Dead and the intensity, and it is such a great game that, quite frankly, and now that I know that you can turn down the language and you can turn down the blood, yeah, it's a great game for everybody.
Yeah, we think so. And, what's fun about the game is it never plays the same way twice, right? So it's totally unpredictable in terms of what can happen because, you never know. Your quarterback might get struck by lightning, right? So we have a lot of random events that always make every game experience different.
Exactly. And like you were saying with that, then you have to have a deep bench. Because if you don't, you have that star player that you rely on too much, and then all of a sudden they die during the game.
Yeah, especially all-stars who really are, much better players than most of the regular roster on the team. So those are your key guys. and you do everything to protect them.
Like bringing them back from the dead.
That's right.
Yeah, because if you win the halftime game, then you can bring someone back from the dead.
You can resurrect them, and also in our franchise mode, Dynasty, you also, have to resurrect your players after every game, and that actually costs you money to do that.
So it sounds like there's a lot of great news going on with Mutant Football League. And before we let you go, Michael, we want you to give out your social media stuff so our listeners can contribute to that next game.
Definitely. So we're on all social media, but if you just go to our website, mutantfootballleague.com, all of the social website information is there. We also sell T-shirts, mugs. You can get the game from our website, and all the information and news you'll find on the website. We're on Twitter at Mutant Football, and then Facebook, Mutant Football League. So,
that is phenomenal.
James, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's been our pleasure. We enjoyed having you on the show.
Fantastic.